his name?
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back. David James filling in for Scott Girard. Tim LaComb is at Tim Dolly Mazda down in Southtown. And joining us from the San Jose Mercury News, once again, it is Jon Wilner. You read him at KSL.com. John, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You've got a column up at KSL.com right now. Big 12 post-spring projections. You got BYU, Houston, and Texas Tech fighting at the top of the league. You've got the Utes at number 7. This is twice in 2 days. I've heard people posing questions about the Utes that I haven't heard in a long time. Yesterday it was Ron McBride, the former Ute coach, who ran through the whole team, and the one question he really had was defensive line. He thought there were 2 or 3 guys he really liked, but usually they have 6 or 8 guys he really likes. And his point was there's time for guys to develop, but they have to or it's going to be a problem. So he had it more as a question mark. And you're not exactly the same, but you're also not that far off.
No, I mean, I don't know how you can look at Utah and not at least wonder about the change of coaches, right? I mean, you knew what to expect for 20 years. You knew the culture. You knew the style. You knew what the off seasons were going to look like. You know, Morgan Scalley was a terrific defensive coordinator. Nobody would argue that point. We don't have any idea what kind of head coach he's going to be. And there are sometimes great coordinators are also great head coaches. Sometimes great coordinators are average head coaches. Every once in a while, they're bad. But we don't know. It's a question mark that has not existed for the program, you know, since Whittingham replaced Meyer. So that to me is where everything starts. We don't know. The most important piece is a little bit unknown.
The same article has BYU now in the number 1 spot in the power rankings for the Big 12, and got great news, obviously, with LJ Martin coming back. What your general thoughts on BYU, and obviously you feel really good about their chances this year.
Yeah, well, I think that was probably a disappointment to BYU fans who are convinced I hate the Cougars. But, you know, I just look at them, and I had them as the Big 12 favorite back in, you know, early February after the season, before the whole thing with Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby, right? That has thrown a giant wrench into the Big 12 outlook. But I look at the Cougars and think, you know, they've got the combination of quarterback and offensive line that you need to win a title, right? We've seen in the transfer portal era that the unit that has become the most difficult to coach and to, you know, play efficiently is the offensive line, right? Because you need tons of cohesiveness up there. Those guys have got to communicate with each other every second. When you're bringing in new players from the portal, it makes it a lot harder to field a cohesive offensive line. BYU's got a lot of guys back from both starters and key rotation players. They got a veteran quarterback. You know they can run the ball with Martin. I think that losing Jay Hill on defense could be an issue, but I look at them and think they've got the best combination of quarterback and offensive line, so they're my pick as of this point.
With Texas Tech third, you got them out of the conference title game. Obviously, quarterback is a major issue. You've got Houston in the top 2. Houston made progress last year. It wasn't exactly a big old cannonball into the deep end of the pool with the splash that gets everyone's attention the way ASU basically went from worst to first 2 years ago. But it was strong progress. Do you have them in there by default, or do you think Houston's coming and people better brace for it?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, you know, Willie Fritz is a terrific coach. He's kind of like a mini Signetti in a way, in that he has won a ton at the lower levels, and now he's getting his chance. To me, the Houston pick and the Texas Tech pick are hand in hand. I don't know exactly when Will Hammond, and you know, he's now Texas Tech's projected starter, right? And he looked good. He was really good against the Utes early last season. We don't know exactly when he is going to be back from his knee injury, right? He tore his ACL. And not only do we not know when he's going to be back, but we don't know when he is going to be playing 100%, right? Mm-hmm. Those could be two different things. And Texas Tech plays Houston in it's either week 3 or week 4. It's early in the season.
Yep.
And, how Will Hammond is functioning at that point when they play the Cougars, I think could actually have a big impact on where those two teams finish relative to each other. If that game was later in the season and we felt like Hammond would have had plenty of time to get back in the flow, I probably would look at it a little differently. But it's a great time for Houston in terms of when Hammond's going to be back up to speed.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Do you feel like I saw that Colorado's 15th in the poll, and rightfully so? Not a lot going right since the great start by Dion there. Do you feel like this is his last year in Colorado? I kind of get that vibe.
I kind of felt like it was last year, but he decided to come back, and part of that is just because of the health issues, right? I mean, and now you factor in losing with not coaching his kids, with the health issues. And yeah, I mean, you do have to seriously wonder if next season will be his last. I don't have much hope for them. I am hardly convinced that his style of overhauling his roster every year with massive amounts of transfers is working. They won when they had two elite players, Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, best player in the country and one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And then you look at what happened without those guys last year, and it's hard to be too optimistic, especially when you consider Dion has not put together a high-level offensive line. Getting back to offensive line play, they've been terrible up front for 3 years, and they lost their best player, Jordan Seaton, to LSU. So I have serious questions about how competitive they're going to be. And then you wonder if this will be it for Dion, for sure.
Jon Wilner joined us from San Jose Mercury News. His writing syndicated. You can read it at KSL.com. I saw a quote in a Sports Business Journal story that made me think of, people like you who cover the national college sports scene for a long time. No, this is the kind of thing you guys write about, and whoever gets this quote, you're all going to run with it, and for good reason. Sports Business Journal is going through the ACC meetings and they said here's the quote: "Could the CSC have set up an enforcement mechanism earlier and better?" Sure, said a Power 4 administrator. But the same schools who claim they want to be governed refuse to sign a participation agreement. Don't listen for 1 minute to the people bitching about the CSC. It's the same thing as the NCAA. We blame the NCAA. Well, that's us. The NCAA is us. We are the idiots. And to me, this whole talk about, this is unsustainable. Well, I don't see anybody who wants to govern it. Rules didn't work when Tim was an assistant coach, and he's got all kinds of stories from his time at Utah and BYU and all the things that happened on the recruiting trail. I don't see why it's going to change. I think it might not be sustainable for you. I went to UC Santa Barbara. UC Santa Barbara can't sustain anything that Ohio State sustains. We just have to accept that. That's what has to be accepted. That's what isn't sustainable. Ohio State's going to sustain what Ohio State's doing. What am I missing here, if anything? I thought that comment was the truth.
The inmates are running the asylum, and they don't like the rules that they're setting up because they're the inmates, right? I mean, that's basically what it is. The Power 4 conferences said, you know what? Let's create this college sports commission, and we're going to all commit to following the rules. And then, of course, they wouldn't commit to following the rules because nobody in college sports likes anything better than to, claim they want to follow rules and then break them, right? That's what everybody does, whether it's tampering. I mean, you name it. So I don't know when we're going to get a resolution to any of this. The SEC is getting increasingly frustrated. there is certainly a chance that they will say, you know what, the College Sports Commission isn't working. We are going to set up our own rules for our conference. Everybody else set your own rules up. We'll see where that leads us. I do think there is one easy solution, which is collectively bargain with the athletes. But to do that, the athletes need to have a union. And for that to happen, they need to be declared employees. And the university presidents are against having athletes declared employees, which is ridiculous at this point.
At this
But
point,
that, a collectively bargain, a CBA would solve almost all of the problems. And otherwise, I don't see how there's going to be a resolution to any of it.
John, you're an employee when you have to be at a certain place at a certain time, and you're given a certain amount of compensation for that. Now, Tim was managing and doing video for Rick Majerus 30 years ago, and Rick Majerus did not let players drift in whenever they felt like it. They should have been employees at least 30 years ago, and there's an argument that Jon Wooden should have had employees 50 or 60 years ago when Sam Gilbert was paying, and Sam Gilbert was ignoring rules and eventually got busted by somebody like you who was 50 years older at the LA Times.
Tim, were you a student when you did that?
Yes, I was.
Did you get paid?
I did.
Well,
I mean,
there
I
you
didn't.
go.
The first year I did not. But I got a scholarship the second year.
So you were a student and an employee.
Yes. And
why? I don't know why the quarterback can't do the same thing, right?
Exactly.
All these places have got students who are working part-time and getting a paycheck, but they won't let the athletes do it. It's just preposterous.
I got to go to the Ortega Dining Commons where I pulled 1 million shifts, and I got to be there at a certain time, and they give me a certain amount of money. What's the difference?
Well, in
There
2019,
isn't one, there isn't one, and they're looking for every solution except the one that's in front of their face, and none of the other solutions are going to stop the lawsuits. And so we have a situation where everything in college sports is either a reaction to a lawsuit or out of fear of a lawsuit. And that's why we are where we are.
There you go. John, we appreciate the time. Talk a little college sports and a little Big 12 football. Thanks for coming on, and we will keep reading you. We'll keep reading you at KSL.com and in the San Jose Mercury News.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
He's Jon Wilner.
Good news for your gas tank. Every day through May 17th, shop at BJ's Wholesale Club and get an extra 5 cents off a gallon on a same-day fill-up at BJ's Gas. Buy practically anything, any day, and save. That means on Monday, extra 5 cents off gas. Tuesday, extra 5 cents off gas. Wednesday, Thursday, yada yada right through Sunday, get 5 cents off a gallon of gas. Shop for what you want, when you want at BJ's to save on gas every day through May 17th. Visit bjs.com/gas promo for details.